Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
All right. We are ready to rock and roll. Yes, sir. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are feeling good out there. We are coming to you live, baby, from Craig's Inns, Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll be out here for a couple of hours now. We're back to our regular Friday crazy-ass schedule where we've got double duty and double dipping. So Bill and I will be here for a couple of hours. Then we will shoot over to Hialeah Park, and we'll be out there for a couple of hours out there. We'll be at the Flamingo Lounge, so we'll have some fun. We're looking forward to it. Got a lot of things, actually, a lot of people to talk to today on the program. Looking forward to getting back to Hialeah Park. We're going to be at the Flamingo Lounge. We will own that lounge all by ourselves. So actually, if you want to kind of get away from everything, anyway, they can only go, I think, 50% capacity on the casinos. But if you want to get out there and want to join us in the Flamingo Lounge, we'll be by ourselves and plenty of space, okay, and TVs and all that. So it's actually pretty cool, good place to hang out and kind of get away from everything. So if you want, and of course, you know, the main reason, of course, is the food for Bill, because he can't wait. What are you salivating for already for today when you get to Hialeah?
It's between the chicken marsala and the skirt steak, churrasco.
Ah, a little churrasco. All right. Some tells me you're going to get the churrasco. I don't know.
You know what?
Some tells me you're going churrasco today.
The chicken marsala, because it has that brown wine sauce, brown gravy wine sauce.
Yep.
With the mashed potatoes.
Yep.
Oh, man, are you kidding me?
So there you go. So he's already, he's got the menu going. He's
Dude, I've had their food floating around in my head since I heard on Monday that we were going to be there Friday.
Yeah, so good. So good. And so glad to have Hialeah back in the mix and back with us here on the program. Like I told you, we're loaded. Albert Namad is going to join us at 10:30 this morning. He had a really interesting heat. I don't know. I wouldn't call it. It's not a rumor. He had a really interesting heat projection. There you go. Not because it's not a rumor. It's not a report. It's nothing like that. So we'll talk to Albert. He's obviously a salary cap expert, knows his stuff. So we'll get into that with Albert. When we get over to Hialeah Park, we got a loaded show. Zach Harper from The Athletic, the NBA national writer. Love Zach. He is going to join us at 1:20. So we'll have a little fun with him from The Athletic and talk all things hoop with him. At 2 o'clock, Steve Calabro, yes, the casino manager, is going to stop by, tell us everything that Hialeah Park is doing to keep it all safe. 3 o'clock, Michelle Kaufman is going to stop by with her Inter-Miami report. At 3:30, Jordan McPherson, Marlins writer for the Miami Herald, will join us so we could talk a little draft. obviously, because yesterday they wrapped up their draft and picked the other 5 guys. They took all pitchers, bro. All 6 players were pitchers in this draft. So
Can never have enough arms, man.
I love it. I thought it was super smart on their part because, see, you can trade once a pitcher becomes a player and then teams want him, they're going to trade the house for him. You know what I mean? So you could get a lot back. And so for some people, say, well, why didn't they get any bats or something like that? You could get plenty of offense by trading a pitcher. You know what I mean? That's how valuable it is. And so for me, I thought it was really cool that they went about it this way. 2 left-handed pitchers and 4 right-handed pitchers in the draft yesterday.
Pitchers are like the QBs of the NFL.
Yeah.
Their value is higher than any other position.
Yeah, you're right. And the Fulton kid's coming off the Tommy John, so we'll see how that one develops for him. Interesting. And it's funny how, 20, 30 years ago, that would scare the crap out of you. Nowadays, oh, yeah, Tommy John, no big deal. Everybody has it. Everybody comes back stronger. It's like they're so much more confident about it. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those situations where you gotta love the fact that the boys loaded up on the arms, and hopefully that will pay off down the line. I'm not going to get too much into it because obviously not a lot of you were watching in the first round. I doubt you were watching 2nd through 5th rounds yesterday.
Oh, no, everybody's worried about their fantasy rookie keeper sleepers.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that 4th round got exciting because they had 2 4th-rounders, too. So it was some thrilling stuff last night. Did you watch any boxing?
Actually, you know what? I did. I did watch the boxing.
Did you watch the headliner?
Yes, I did. I
Maldonado?
wondered, the guy's definitely singing soprano tonight.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I watch. Again, we don't have a lot of live sports, right? So UFC, I normally watch UFC anyway. I mean, I can't say I watch every fight and every fight on the card or something. That's for my guy Alex Dono. He'll watch every fight on the card. I can't do that, but I do watch a lot of the fights, most of the main ones, of course. I always watch. So I like UFC, so I don't mind watching UFC. The baseball draft, I've never watched. Never. I had no interest in watching the baseball draft. I've watched more of the baseball draft in the last 2 days than I have my entire other 53 years of living. You know what I mean?
I didn't even touch the baseball draft.
I did because there's nothing else on. And then boxing went on, and obviously I saw boxing the other night. I saw it again last night. And I got to tell you, going in, watching the title, the headliner last night, Maldonado and Vicente, I was kind of disgusted. And these are the moments that have brought boxing down. The bad calls, handling it poorly. You have a dirty fighter that has already gone low 3 different times. And how you didn't DQ him that 3rd time is beyond me. And you keep deducting points, and you get to a point that the boxer cannot outbox and outpoint Maldonado already. So then he's loosey-goosey at that point. Now he's got nothing to lose. He already lost the fight in the judges' cards, so he's got to go balls out and try to knock him out. And in the process, the guy's dirty. I mean, this guy was aiming for the guy's nuts.
Well, you said he was going balls out. Yeah, he was literally going balls out.
Balls out. I mean,
his sack was like a punching, one of those speed bags. You know what I mean?
It was terrible, dude. That was disgusting, because if that's one of your better fighters, you should be protecting him. And I mean, the dude also, when he hits him low and then the guy's like crunching down and then the referee's coming and he still hits him and knocks him down that first time, I mean, that's his dirt. The guy was dirty, period. The Vicente guy was. Not only should he have been DQ'd, okay, that's a guy that deserves a nice long suspension, too, on top of all of that. Because There was nothing about sportsmanship in that fight last night.
Oh,
that
you
guy
could
Vicente.
see he was aiming.
Yeah.
Literally
Yes.
aiming for
Yes.
the lower groin.
Yes. So to me, I was pissed watching that fight. And I don't care about Maldonado. I just care about doing the right thing for people. And that kid obviously has a future. And, you're risking his future. And I give him credit. Because he easily could have said, "Hey, what happened in the first go around, getting hit in the family jewels and then getting knocked down." He could have canceled the fight right there, and they would have DQ'd the other guy, and that's it. And they call it whatever. I think he would have won anyway, but whatever. And he could have saved himself. And then there was a part of me that was like, it'll be interesting to see how Maldonado comes back from this first exchange. But then when you saw the second and third, it's like, okay, well, no, this is a joke now. And so, as a guy that has grown up passionately loving boxing, okay, and I still love the sport itself, but I can't say, it's kind of like baseball in a way. I love baseball and I love boxing, but I don't love to watch them that much anymore. You know what I'm saying? The moments are few and far between now where I truly enjoy baseball and I truly enjoy boxing. That's what it is. It's just that both games have changed. And it's funny because with boxing and baseball, a lot of it has changed because of terrible decisions that both have made with their sports and where they've put them. And both have failed to move on and adjust with the times, and they've fallen behind. It's interesting. And so for me, I love boxing, man. I do. And I love baseball. I really do. I love both sports, but I don't have the passion watching them because they have beaten me down so much. Like Sosa McGuire's coming up now, the documentary. I have no interest whatsoever in that. None. Because those are part of the decisions that ruined baseball. The cheating, the steroids, all that stuff. That was kind of the start of the end for baseball. You know what I mean? And boxing's done the same thing with terrible decision after terrible decisions, terrible fights, judges that have just done a piss poor job. It's one of these things that for me personally, it has taken a lot of the wind out of the sails, as they say. And so last night I'm watching it, and it's just like it's another chapter, and it reminds me why I have lost interest in boxing. Like when I'm watching the baseball play. See, all I watch in the MLS is them trying to figure out how to get back on the pitch. Basketball, they're just trying to get back on the court. Hockey, football, they're not fighting against each other. No. They're communicating and they're working together trying to overcome a pandemic and the financial situations that come with it, and they're trying to work together. Meanwhile, baseball is just fighting amongst each other. And to me, again, when I see what goes on with baseball, it reminds me, okay, this is why I have lost interest in baseball. These are the moments, and it's just like it's just you add another chapter and another chapter and another chapter, and before you know it, the book is enormous already, and that's boxing, and that's baseball.
You and me hanging out watching boxing for 40 years now. I can tell you the night the boxing changed for us both. Azuma Nelson and the Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, and Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Those two split decisions that night was the start of what the hell is going on here, man?
There's Arguello Pryor. There's all kinds of just
but
shady stuff.
But that specific night, those two fights, doing what they did, it was like overkill. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we had a little lead up to it, but that was the night. It was like two of the three fights on the card, and you saw split decision. Come on, man.
Yep. Alan D says, "Damn, we early today." I could tell. Alan D, I can tell you are a pandemic baby and on, aren't you, Alan D? Right?
I concur with Alan D. Because getting up this morning.
No. But
5:45.
But my point is, this is Alan D's first time seeing us this early, which it's not. It's normal.
This is his first double dip Friday?
Yeah, this is actually normal, Alan. This is how we've done things. It's just the pandemic closed down Hialeah Park. So then we would come here on Fridays from 11 to 2 instead of doing the 9 to 11 that we normally do here and then the 1 to 4 that we do over at Hialeah Park. So now we're back to normal,
I want you to tell my body normal because
those of you that are just joining in now in the last couple of months during the pandemic, because our audience, we gained more audience during the pandemic because a lot of people were home, so more people had to search. They had time, so they found us, and so they have joined us on YouTube and downloads and all that other stuff, and so a lot of people are new to it, and I guess Alan D is one of the new pandemic babies that joined us here on YouTube. But this is how it normally is on Fridays now. It's 9 to 11 and 1 to 4. We do 5 hours on Friday, and we do 2 shows on Friday at two different sponsors. That's how it's normally been for a few. I mean, I can't tell you we were doing it for years or anything, but it was for several months before the pandemic. So there you go. Now, so get used to it. This is the norm now. Now the norm is Friday is the day that we throw the whole schedule off track. We don't go on at 11 anymore. We go on 9 to 11 and then 1 to 4. Okay? So there you go.
My body's
2 shows today, baby.
My body's feeling very abnormal today. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, getting up at 5:45 was like, you got hours to sleep, man. We don't start till 11.
DJ Gallagher's in the house. Call of Duty 1. Ian from Brooklyn. Man of 1,005 holds. Super Boom Shack says get the churrasco with the COVID sauce. Big J doing big things. Alan D, as mentioned. Clee Torres. Thomas Flores says, I was watching a documentary on North Korea. That's how bored I was. Wow. Yeah, that's deep, dude. Right there. That's desperation there. Wow. Oh. Matthew Walker. What else? Super Boom Shack, I think I mentioned. So we got a bunch of folks on the chat board, folks watching, and thank you all for tuning in like you always do. Hey, just out of curiosity, and I know, it'll be sports pretty much throughout the show, and we got a ton, both shows. We got a ton of sports topics. Thank God I was able to find a whole bunch of sports topics to talk about today. One of the things I just want to mention because the COVID deaths, okay, I know the numbers and the test and the positives and hospitalizations are going up, and I've been tracking it since June 1st. And on June 1st, that Monday, it was 730. Tuesday was 1,134, Wednesday 1,083, Thursday 1,031, then Friday 975, Saturday drops to 706, Sunday to 373, Monday climbs back up to 586, Tuesday 1,093, Wednesday 982, and Thursday 904 also, and so right now, since June 1st, we've lost 9,597 Americans in the first 11 days of this month. We are averaging 872 American deaths every day. It is, I have to say that we're pretty casual about opening the country and handing off 1,000 people to the heavens every single day. It's kind of, 900, let's say, 900 people a day. That's still a lot, man. That's still a lot every single day. I do want to see that number go down even more, man. It just scary stuff, and I hope it doesn't take a turn, for anything worse on the way up. So just wanted to throw that out there because I don't know if people realize from June 1st we're losing on average 872 people per day. I think I find that disturbing to a certain extent.
Have you heard what they're projecting,
Yeah, it's 200,000 plus, of course.
Yeah, in September.
Yeah.
Our number that we just touched a little bit ago, 100,000, it's going to double at the rate we're at by September.
Yeah, the dude at top didn't think they would get to 100,000. So, that's but that's how it goes, man. And so I'm just saying it just, I do want to remind people that it's still happening, dude. And it's happening at still at an alarming rate. Okay? So it's just nuts to think about that first 11 days, 9,597 lives. So our prayers to all the families who have lost lives all over the world, actually, not just here in this country, but all over the world, obviously. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. You can also reach out here on the YouTube chat board, which is always incredibly active. We're out here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. Come on out here and join us. We'll be out here till 11 o'clock, about 11:30 probably, tearing down everything, all that good stuff. So come on out here and join us before we head off to Hialeah Park. And if you want to join us at Hialeah Park, we'll be out there from 1 to 4. Having some fun. The famous Alexa V, the president of the Big O Show, apparently is going to be there at Hialeah Park. So looking forward to Alexa V and the hubby. They're both, I think, going to be there. I met the hubby at Cerrusi's once, apparently. So we will meet Alexa V for the first time. We will see the hubby again for the second time. Any of you out there are all welcome to join us. Whether you want to come on out here and get a great deal on an automobile, which the boys will make you a great deal. You can also get on down here all throughout the weekend, as they're always ready at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. And make sure, whether you visit Craig Zinn Acura, okay, whether you go to VSS West Pines, you call the injury, the accidentlawfirm.com text line and Bobby Nunez, and you make sure you tell them that we sent you, okay? That's the most important thing, man. That if you're going to go to one of our sponsors, you make sure, okay, it's Moody's Dental, tell them that we sent you, man. Very, very important that you tell them that you heard it here on the program. DJ Gallagher already chiming in with a little super chat. Thank you, DJ Gallagher. Appreciate you. Super chat.
That took guts. We need guts.
I told you I can totally
super chat.
So you think you got what it takes?
You have no skills.
This is permanent.
Good job.
I'm promoting you.
You got a lot of problems, don't you? Take pride in that.
Super chat. DJ Gallagher says, thank you, Big O, for being the best talent on air and keeping us informed during the new normal. Yes, thank you for keeping it locked and supporting us in the new normal here overall. And it's a tough one to adjust for all of us, man. There's no doubt that this is a challenge for every single one of us. But we got to stay positive and we got to figure out a way to get through this whole thing. And I know we will, so I'm not worried about that. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Lots of things to talk about today on the show. Lots of people also to talk to on the show. One of the things that the NBA is kind of in the middle of trying to come back, right? And they're trying to figure out, okay, you hear about some of the players that could be, let's say, getting cold feet about returning. And they're talking about, 30, 40, 50, 60 players. All kinds of numbers are being thrown out there. And we're all assuming that it's a lot of the teams that are on the fringe. Well, one of those teams that's on the fringe is the Portland Trailblazers. And one of the players on that team is Carmelo Anthony. And Melo is another guy that's kind of contemplating about playing in the bubble. And we talked about this yesterday, that we've all been quarantined for a couple months, and then they have to a certain extent. And now you've got to quarantine yourself again to play the game of basketball. And that this might be a problem for some people. Now, before I get into Carmelo Anthony, I got to say something. Any player that is backing out of this, I gotta say, I gotta give you a little bit of the wuss factor. Because you want to back out of football and hockey. Well, no, hockey's fine too. You want to back out of football, I understand. You know why? They have not talked about football in a bubble. So if you're not going to quarantine the whole league, and people are going to be traveling city to city in practices, and they're going back home, and oh, forget it. Football is, look what's happened to the Alabama players. Football is a whole different monster, and it's so many people. You can't come up with a bubble city for it. There aren't enough stadiums in one city to do it. You won't be able to. It's impossible. Plus, every team has, 70 guys? No, man, it's crazy. And trainers and coaches, it's 100 and something people. Nuts. Now, basketball, they're going to have like 14 teams in one hotel. It's like a 3-hotel complex, and you're all in there. And nobody can get in, nobody can get out. So you could actually stay COVID-free. If you're able to quarantine, kind of like what you do and I do every day, we kind of stay away from people, like what Bill and I do. We work together. He goes to his house. I go to my house. That's it. And even when we work, notice there's nobody around us. We're at Toyota of Hollywood. We're there, but it's not like people are hanging around us at all. And if somebody comes by, it's from a distance, and they're with a mask talking to us. Like, if you see us today at Hialeah, you'll be a couple of feet, you'll have a mask on, you'll talk to us. We're not at risk. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, we've kind of controlled it. We're not going to the beach. We're not going to clubs. We're not going cigar bars. We're not doing anything like that. Not that there's cigar bars open, right?
Drive-through. That's it, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
this weekend, I went to drive-through Burger King one time. That's it.
A buddy of mine called me that owns a restaurant. Owns the restaurant. Goes to me, come on over, man. I go, bro, I love you, but I'm not eating in restaurants. He goes, are you serious? I go, yeah, I'm serious. Not even your restaurant, bro. I'm not eating where other people are at. I'm not doing that. Not right now. I got 5 stents in my heart. And he goes, oh, I forgot about that. And I go, I can't, bro. I
got
can't.
the same thing, man. People, hey, man, come on.
Nope.
Because, all the bars, and they, hey, man, we could go here and there, and, just say hi, And I'm like, dude, you guys have fun, man. Okay? Seriously.
Yeah. There'll be plenty of time, man. When this is over, be plenty of time to hang out, plenty of time to go out. I've gone to tons of cigar bars, tons of restaurants, tons of concerts. I've done it. I'm not the 21-year-old idiot that thinks, oh, my God, you're going to keep me in my house for 2 months? My life is over. It's like you're going to live for 40 more years to party. Relax.
You're not lacking in adventures, bro.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, I don't lack any adventures. I've had plenty in my life. I am incredibly blessed to have the life I've had, actually, at 53. I have had one hell of a life. So Melo says, I'm still up in the air a little bit because I really don't know. We don't have all the details. He told Ernie Johnson on his Twitter show, we don't know a lot of information. So until we have that, it's hard to just commit to that 100%. And the only thing is, look, I'll give Melo credit for being honest. But then let me be honest now, too. Okay? Can I be honest now? Melo's a guy that has been labeled a guy that really doesn't want to win ever, that only cares about his money. And that's kind of what he has proven over his career. Now, I know Portland has no shot at a title. Okay? They'll be lucky to be in the playoffs. But my point is, it's just a bad look for a guy that has always been labeled not the guy. You know, the guy that is never really truly committed. And the guy that wasn't about winning was about money. You know, that kind of stuff. And so to me, that's where I kind of find it funny with Melo that out of all people in the NBA, especially veterans, this is a guy that needs some great moments in the NBA and in the playoffs to kind of help his image out a little bit. Because he's the guy that's known as a scorer, and that's it. Not a winner, not a leader, not a guy that really, you know, because people say, oh, well, did you see him in the Olympic teams? He always played well with. Yeah, of course. You're playing with 800 other Olympians. How hard can it be to not look good there? It's like the easiest thing to look good with those guys around you because it's all greatness. And what the hell are you playing? Inferior talent most of the time. I mean, give me a break. Melo is the one guy that should shut the hell up. Seriously. This is the guy that needs these playoffs more than anything. Not for the title, just for him. And it still won't help even to shed the image that he has. It's funny. All right, let's take a quick break. We are coming to you live, of course, from Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. And we'll be out here till 11 o'clock. We'll take a quick break. At 10:30, by the way, Albert Namad is going to join us, and he's got a very interesting Heat twist that we'll talk about. The Dolphins, they were in the news. Let's talk a little fish next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Sorry about that. I had a little extra break there because I had to get on the phone. It's really, it's kind of a challenge to do a podcast and then putting together a radio station. That's
The rejoin.
I was in a meeting. I was in a Zoom meeting before I got on the air, and then now I'm also, doing some other stuff because we're building a studio and all that. It's crazy stuff.
The
man.
decibels you just hit on the comeback, you need to save that for Hialeah, man. You were pushing red, bro.
We will shock. Well, I won't be able to scare them that much at Hialeah anymore, man, because we're at Hialeah. When we start the show at 1:00, we're right next to the poker tables. And you know me, I always open it up with a big old scream, and I always freak the hell out of the people right there. I do it at Toyota of Hollywood too. Every Thursday when I open up because I'm in the showroom, so it's like all over the place.
Well, bro, you're in a poker room.
See, Larry Schlossberg been smart for 10 years. For 10 years, he's kept my ass outside, not inside in the showroom, because he goes, no way, dude, this guy's way too loud. We can't put him in there. He's Cuban. I can say that, by the way. Okay. All right.
In the poker room, they react like that dude's like on a roller coaster. What is he doing over there?
It's a beautiful thing. So we are out here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, the finest Acura dealership on the planet. So come on by and say hi. The boys and the girls are ready to make a great deal for you out there. Matthew Walker says dolphins are mammals, not fish. Okay. Oh, okay. He says, just kidding. Man of 1,005 holds. Melo was an all-star, and I wanted him to grow as a superstar. Never happened. Yep. Just a shooter, just a scorer. That's all I ever look at Melo as. Nothing more, nothing less. Myron says Melo wants to be like Kobe, but no heart to the sport. All he wants is to get paid. Exactly. There's Kobe and Melo. There is no comparison. There is nothing about those two guys that are even remotely close. Isn't that amazing? Not even remotely close. It's Melo has a bad night shooting. He's out in the club enjoying a couple of drinks and some money, and making it rain, probably going out with some thought. Kobe has a bad night. After the game, he's pissed off and he's shooting for an hour and a half in the gym, even on the road. I saw him do that at the Miami Arena once. Yeah. At the Miami Arena once, he stunk out the place, or was it already? Or were we already at the AAA? Right at the beginning of the AAA, it was one of the two. It was the end of the arena run, or right at the beginning of the AAA. Now I forgot. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was the Miami Arena, and so Lakers I think ended up losing to the Heat. Yeah, they did. They lost to the Heat, and Kobe had a terrible night, and so. You don't always go to the visiting locker room when you're the beat guy. You usually send like the second reporter that, because it's it's not that important. But when it's a big game like this, sometimes you want to go to that other locker room, right, and all that. So we go to see where, Kobe's at to talk to him, and Kobe is nowhere to be found. Oh, yeah, Kobe's out on the court shooting. And after an entire game, the guy was out there for an hour shooting. Then he came back and talked to everybody. Do you think Melo's going to do that? No, dude. Certain people are wired certain ways, and Melo has never been wired that way that you need for people, for superstars. Dolphins, they signed Austin Jackson, the left tackle, yesterday. Now, this isn't news. Okay, I know they make headlines on it, and, hey, Dolphins – in today's world, all these contracts are slotted. It's just a matter of time. They all sign their deals. It's rare to even have a holdout. If you have a holdout, it's so stupid because that's an agent that's just now trying to get, too cute and trying to get funny with the language or something like that. But all these contracts are pretty much set. So it's not anything big that you sign your guys. You're supposed to sign your guys. Now, I'll tell you this. The one thing I do love about about everything going on with the Dolphins. And it's funny because it's not that it was news to me, but it does get me more excited about everything. You understand? That's the beauty of it, because I was one of the guys, and Bill is my witness. Some of you out there that are part of the show, download people have been around, but some of you YouTube people, you're COVID babies, and you have been on. But those before and those that were with us when I was in my last stop, I was one of the few people that was excited about the 2019 season. Am I right, Bill? Am I lying? Am I lying?
Yeah, and that was even with you projecting 0 wins.
Yes.
You were excited.
Super excited. Super excited. Seriously. Because you get excited when people are doing things the right way. And for the last 20 years, I've hammered the Dolphins because all they do is stupid-ass things. And so over the last year, since Chris Greer took over, they do things that are like football smart. Like what I told you with the Marlins. Super smart. You only got 5 rounds. They got 6 picks. They took all pitchers. Super smart. And they've already got pitchers. Keep loading it up, because you can trade pitchers for tons, dude. It's amazing. Young pitchers, you can trade. You can't trade a young hitter that's unproven. But you can trade a young arm that's right there on the brink, only had a couple of outings on, and you're loaded. People will die to trade for that guy. And they'll give you the house for pitchers. Super smart for the Marlins. You like seeing things that are done logically. The Dolphins, when I saw the Austin Jackson signing, I got excited because it reminded me again that the Dolphins are building from inside out. They went and got a whole bunch of linemen. They drafted them. They signed them in free agency. They got D linemen. They signed them in free agency. They drafted people, and they got a quarterback for the second year in a row. Something that this franchise never does. Not just get one, but get 2 quarterbacks in a calendar year. I mean, give me a break. These are the things. And so that's when I saw the Austin Jackson signing, that's what it brought to me. I didn't care about the signing itself. It's like, that's not news, dude. I don't care about that. It reminds me again of how much I can't wait for the season to roll around again. I can't wait to see what kind of growth this team makes this year. I want to see what Flores does with these cats, because he had a team that he had no idea who the hell they were in week 1, and it looked like it the first couple weeks, and then by the end of the year, the guy was 5-4 in his last 9 games with absolutely no talent. Now you give him a whole bunch of young cats now, a fresh draft, a really good free agency class, a team he now knows, a culture he's now put in place, a coaching staff that's in place. He's ready to go. So to me, that's where, when I was looking at this, that's where my excitement level just went to like another level. It just, again, yeah. I don't even know how I'm going to feel after next year's draft in Cleveland. And I don't even know how I'm going to hold myself back for that next season. Because it's just going to be amazing. Because that'll be the season that'll be Tua's first full starting season. And he'll have this whole year that this whole team will get to learn, grow, and be better for him in 2021. I just love the progress that this team is making, and it's actually gone a little faster than I even expected, because this is a team that, man, they can win 7, 8, 9 games, and who knows what happens in this division. They could surprise, Now let's hope. Let's see what happens in training camp and preseason, whatever abbreviated version we have of it. Let's see who survives it, too, because obviously injuries can alter the hell out of your season. So we'll get a better feel for them at the end of it. And, because that's the good thing about this year now. Last year, we really didn't know anything about these guys because we didn't know the team. And, hell, we didn't even know players that weren't on this team that were going to be on the team during the year. Now we've got a better feel. Now you're not going to have the amount of players filtered in and filtered out anymore. You'll have a couple of guys, but nothing like it was last year. The revolving door you had last year, that phase is done. Now this is the next phase here of this rebuild.
Last year we had a totally green, didn't know nothing about him as a head coach.
Yeah.
And what a incredible showing. Dude, I'm more excited about Flores and what he's going to do with these guys.
Yeah.
Than I am about the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't wait. I think this is going to be absolutely amazing this season to watch what they're now. Again, we need to all this COVID stuff has got to subside. We need that big time to kind of chill out, and it's not happening. We're not overcoming that yet. May have opened a little too soon, but it is what it is. We gotta. It's It's not really opening too soon. It's just people being irresponsible. That's all it is. And the protesting. It's everybody's got to wear masks, and not everybody's wearing masks. That's the only thing that I would complain about in the protest is that I wish everybody that's in a protest wears a mask.
You know what I think is worse than that, man? The social distancing. Everywhere you look,
but that's why you got to wear a mask.
It's like, but you still have to keep the distance.
But you should at least wear the mask. You know what I'm saying? At least wear the damn mask. It's hard in protesting to keep social distancing.
You know what I was thinking about?
I understand all that. That's why I haven't bothered to go protest because I cannot do it. There's no way I can do it because we're seeing spikes now because of all this stuff.
Here, you remember how when we had first heard about the 6 feet, I had said everybody just needs to walk around with a yardstick. 3 feet, 3 feet, okay, we're far enough.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's going to carry a yardstick. So you remember the old rulers that used to fold up and pop, the metal?
Yeah.
And you could extend it out?
Yeah.
That way you got yours and you got 6 feet. You don't need the other guy to have a yardstick. Yeah. Get over there.
Myron says, true, remember you got happy when they blew up the whole team and reset it. Yeah, man. Well, but for years, Myron, I've been saying they needed an organizational enema. That was my term for the Dolphins. Organizational enema. For 15 years, I've been saying that about this team. And it took Chris Greer to finally do the organizational enema. Because I kept telling everybody that's the only way. You've got to clean house completely, start from scratch. And they went even past scratch because of the whole Fitzpatrick and Tunsil situation. They didn't count on those two. They would have rebuilt the team with those two guys. But even that said, if they overcome all of that, look, if Austin Jackson, the aforementioned Austin Jackson, turns into a fine player at left tackle, that's it. You replaced it. Just like that. And you got your left tackle. And you're done. And you solved your problem.
I almost feel like the organizational enema could be put in the archives where we're headed. Like that's in our rear view.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It is. Well, yeah, that was the first step. That was part of it last year. Yes. Yes.
We're moving on.
Yes, definitely moving on. That's the beauty of where the Dolphins are at right now. They're moving on. Moving on to the next phase, as they say.
Moving on and moving up.
That's right. That's right. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. We do want to tell you about VSS West Pines. We love talking about Jose and all the great people at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. We were out there this Wednesday. We'll be out there next Wednesday also. Getting it done. Jose, Jason, Alex, you name it, man. They're all out there. They're ready to help you out, Tommy. Good people, man. CBD is a product that a lot of people are using because it helps relieve stress. It helps relieve pain, anxiety, so many different things that we're all suffering from. But you want something natural. Stop taking the drugs. Take something natural like CBD, and it's not the drug in the plant. All right, it's the medicinal side of the plant, folks. And it's not illegal or anything like that. You're not doing anything illegal. Go to VSS West Pines. Go to the website, vsswestpines.com. Call them, 954-613-3367. Curbside service and everything. You can order, pay for it online, pull up, call them, tell them you're right outside. They'll take it out to your car. Or if you want to come inside and see all the goodies in there, maybe you can get yourself a Fender lunchbox. Maybe you can get all kinds of funky ashtrays. They've got all kinds of water bongs, hookahs from $19.99 and up. I'm telling you, man, it's where Spencer's and Barefoot Mailman meets CBD. VSSWestPines.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. All right, at the this is hour number 2. What's it called? Albert Namad is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, salary cap expert. We're going to talk a little heat with him. I thought he had a really interesting nugget yesterday. Not a rumor, a report, or anything like that. Just an interesting, let me call it, point of view. That's maybe the best way.
How about an interesting spin?
Okay. I like that. I can go with interesting spin. That one's pretty good. Yeah, interesting spin. And
Every once in a while, I do.
Once in a blue moon, yeah, that's true. You've reached your quota now for the decade. And it's already 2000. It's only 2020, so kids screwed for the next 9 years.
Thanks a lot there, bro. I appreciate it.
Well, actually, the show's screwed for the next 9 years. The idea, what's it called? Damn, what was I just saying now?
You're talking about the spin for the salary cap and, his angle.
Yes, exactly. What's salary cap for what? What are we talking about?
NBA. He's an expert.
Oh, you talk about Nomad? Yes, I brain farted completely, and like, what the hell am I talking about?
You know what, man? You're
taking a shot at you. I completely forgot.
You're doing
So
a
Nomad,
studio in inner Miami, right?
My mind is everywhere, bro. I was just talking to Frank Fiore on the break. I'm talking with the Inter Miami people. I'm talking with a carpenter for the studio. It just, my mind is going like in 80 directions. Yes, it is. That's no doubt about that.
We'll get you grounded, bro.
But Namad had a nice little nugget that he's going to share with us. And if you're a Heat fan, I think this I don't know, this little insight. If there's any truth to it down the line, you'll be happy with it. So we'll talk about it at 10:30. Art of the Sport says, come on, Big O. The Marlins are going to the championship ready soon. I hope so, man. I would love to see that in a few years, to see them grow up and get to a championship. I know you're having fun with it, and I know they're a ways away from being a championship contender, but, listen, I'm rooting for these guys. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They've shown me that they actually are trying. And so if you're going to try, I'm going to try. You know what I mean? If you're not going to try and you're going to be an a-hole, then I won't try and I'll be a bigger a-hole. And that's how I handled the Loria and the Sampson era. All right? Those two losers. So I'm not going to change. And so I'm always going to meet you halfway if you're willing to try. And I think Jeter and Sherman are trying. Now, do they have the resources of maybe some other owners? No. But we are going to test them now. And we're going to see over the next couple of years when some of these young guys develop, are they willing to commit to some of these guys? Because ultimately, that's what's going to prove that you're committed. They say they will. All right? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see if you're willing to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to talking with Albert Ahmad, since I'm talking basketball now at 10:30. Looking forward to that conversation, talking a little Heat and a little NBA. And really, the NBA players, the way the league is trying to set it up in a bubble, I mean, I get it that you got to be away from your family for a couple of months, but come on, man. How many people would, to earn just enough money to pay for all the bills and everything, they would just do it? You know how many people around the country would do that? Now, these guys that have millions in the bank, that's where this happens. But if it's football, I understand. But in basketball, the way they're constructing this bubble thing, I think it creates an environment that you could actually stay COVID-free, make your money, and then get the hell out. And get back to your family. But at least you made your money. You got your time served in the league. So if you're going to be a free agent, you served your year, and now you get to move on. All these other elements that will fall into place. Maybe incentives and things like that could be in your contract. I don't know. All kinds of things that could develop from it. But to me, football's one thing. But the way they're trying to construct these bubble cities and you're not leaving, I like it. I mean, listen, you don't even get any relatives till after the first round. So that way you've eliminated most of the league at that point. You're down to 8 teams, and that's it. Everybody else is gone. You started with 22. You're down to 8. You move on. So now the numbers are less. Now you can spread people out. You can keep people apart. All of those kind of things. Now you've got the space that you can really kind of control the environments. You know what I'm saying? But it just, to me, I just kind of find it interesting that if you're a basketball player and you haven't played for months and now you're losing out on money, but you got a chance to recoup some of that money. And it's not the ideal situation, but it's still a pretty healthy one. I'm all right with that. I find it kind of soft on your part if you don't do it. Football, I understand.
I got a question. Does the league kind of force them and say, if you have or one of the 22 teams to go into the bubble and you opt out, you lose this year of under contract? How about that?
Well, you lose your money anyway.
Well, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about, like, you're signed for 4 years. This is the last year on your contract. You become a free agent. you know what? That this year doesn't count. You get your money, but it doesn't count. You got another year under contract.
You've played a certain amount of the season already, so I think
you can't.
And because there's a pandemic, legally,
you don't want to put the
think,
screws to the players like that.
I don't think you can.
It's a bad.
It'll be a bad look. I don't think you can do it. I think when it comes to time served, I think that's the one thing that for sure they'll all get.
Because those rookie contracts, all them guys want to get out from under them and get their money.
Right, but I think they'll get time served. I think they will because they're not going to hold it against anybody that wants to not play. So
this isn't like the MLB holding out the guys until May or June to touch the major league club. So it's another year under the minor league contract.
Yeah, but that's a loophole. This here is just
you being a jerk.
Common decency here now.
Right, yeah.
At this point. Man, my phone doesn't stop. Anyway, so it's crazy, man. It's a crazy situation.
I just wanted to throw it out there. I was thinking about it, like, can you kind of force people's hands? Because let's face it, man, baseball, it's about the two of them wanting to force the other one to do what they want. That's and they're, what are we talking about? 13 games away, Is that the last number we're at? Like, it was 85 and 72. Is that what the difference was?
Yeah.
We're 13 games away. These guys can't figure it out. Come on, man.
Yeah. No, they should. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You're right there. Cut it in half, man.
It's ridiculous.
Add 6.5 games, okay, right? Mm-hmm. And play 78.5 games, okay?
It's nuts. Alex Cora wants you to know that the cheating scandal had more to do than just him. I always love that about some of these guys, right? So Cora now, he's being slammed by a lot of people for the cheating scandal. And let me give you a little bit of the story here, okay? The bench coach, Alex Cora, is breaking his silence from the 17 sign-stealing scandal. Cora received a season-long suspension, lost his gig as manager of the Red Sox after the MLB investigation determined that he and Beltran played major roles in the Astros' complex sign-stealing scheme. Manager A.J. Hinch, Jeff Lunau also lost their jobs. Cora wants to make it clear he and Beltran were not acting alone as the whole team was in on it. If there is one thing I'm absolutely sure of, is that it was not a two-man show, Cora told ESPN. We all did it, and let me be very clear that I am not denying my responsibility because we were all responsible. We made a mistake as a group, the entire Astros team. What happened was something that, if you asked anyone involved, no one is proud of it. We're all at fault. Everybody. We're all responsible. Everybody was part of the team from around mid-May until the end of the season. We are all responsible. I understand why people think that our championship is not valid. It's our fault that they think that. I am being honest, and I apologize for what happened and for the mistakes we made as a group. I understand why people are disappointed, and I'm disappointed in myself at the time. One doesn't think about the consequences. It was something that kept growing and growing, and in the end, it was wrong. We made a mistake, and I must pay for the consequences of my action. Okay? Now, you got to remember, Cora, at that time in the Astros thing, you were the bench coach. So you were then the manager in Boston, and you lost your job in Boston. But you're one of the leaders of the team. And yeah, dude, you don't need to tell me that everybody was involved, Alex. Obviously. Because you could start a sign-stealing thing, but if the players don't go along with it, it's not like they're going to do it just because you want them to do it. Those guys get paid more money than you do. So they don't need to take any orders from anybody. And their money's guaranteed in baseball. You're paying them no matter what. This isn't football. What Alex Cora needs to do in that moment is not mention that everybody was involved. Just keep saying, hey, look, I can only speak for myself. I'm embarrassed. And that's it. It's kind of soft and weak on his part that he mentions that, hey, it wasn't a two-man show. Everybody was involved. Nobody with any common sense is looking at it going, it was all Beltran and Cora. Everybody else is innocent. We don't look at it that way. We look at all the players. We saw their answers. We saw how guilty they were. Come on, man. I mean, we're smart enough to know the difference between right and wrong, but I'm just saying for you, Alex Cora, okay? It's a terrible look that you're mentioning that everybody was involved. It's a terrible look as a leader to say, well, you know, the whole team. Take responsibility for your actions. Take the heat for your actions. And don't include anybody else. And when anybody wants to include somebody else in a question, you tell them, listen, I can't answer for anybody. I can only answer for myself. I'm extremely disappointed in myself. I was one of the leaders of the baseball team. I should have done something about it, and I didn't. I was part of the problem, not part of the solution. That's all I'm going to say. And you move on. But when you start, you know, grasping and trying to take other people down with you, which they're already down, you don't need to do it. And you don't need to remind us. We know you're not the only one involved. Just say. Maybe that's why you cheated and why you pulled and why you're doing it this way. You keep making terrible decisions. Here's another one.
When
Alex.
I saw that, honestly, you know what's the first thing that came to my mind?
What?
He took the lead of the rest of the Astros. Because remember how badly they handled it, how they responded. The owner changed his words in a matter of 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
He just followed the rest of the Astros lead. And, no, dude, not a good look, bud. But he's like the rest of the Astros. None of them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So not a surprise.
Yeah. It's
they all deserve each other, bro.
Yeah. And they all deserve the heat, and they all deserve to get called cheaters for the rest of their lives. And if you don't want to count them as a champion, you can go ahead. And I'm sure from here on out, everybody will be rooting against them. And guess what? Deal with it, man. Too bad.
I kind of think they're getting off easy, because think about this.
Yes, they are.
We're talking about a shortened season.
Yeah.
This needs to not only carry what we were talking about and all the, banging the garbage, all the stuff. This needs to be carried over into the 21 season.
Yeah.
So they don't, keep beating up on them. Mm-hmm. They deserve it.
They
But I was thinking about
every
that.
bit of it.
How lucky are they that the season didn't start when it was supposed? Can you imagine where they would be mentally right now?
I got to tell you, for me, I just, when I saw that from Cora, I go, well, dude, you just continue making one bad move after another. This is a nice story. Roger Goodell in the NFL. Well, it's a nice story to a certain extent, and I'll tell you why. Roger Goodell and the NFL now have talked. They have talked. Now they're walking the walk. They're pledging to donate $250 million to fight social injustice. The NFL confirmed through its website that it will make the $250 million donation throughout the next 10 years. The money will go towards charities and organizations designed to combat systemic racism and support the battle against injustice faced by African Americans. The NFL report also says the league would be willing to work with Colin Kaepernick on social justice initiatives. An unnamed NFL source told NFL.com, "We wouldn't be where we are today without the work Colin and other players have led off." You mean in finally convincing your closed-minded asses to open up? Here's what I would tell the NFL about your little donation of $250 million. That's nice, dude. That's nice. And yes, we got to fix the problem of social injustices in this world. That's a major problem. But the NFL needs to kind of stand right in front of the mirror and say, we don't hire black coaches. We don't hire black general managers. We don't put people of color in positions of power throughout our league. That's where you need to make your contributions, dude. Okay? That money's nice, but actions call for more. It's nice when people make donations and write a check. Sometimes I think these millionaires and billionaires and millionaire and billionaire companies, they write a check because it's convenient, It's a write-off, and they don't have to assume any responsibility or do any real labor. You know? Actual real work that it takes to tear down these walls. And so if the NFL wants to walk the walk, I want to see more Chris Greers. I want to see more Mike Tomlins. I want to see more Brian Flores. I want to see more Ron Rivera's. Okay? You know, writing a check is nice. Actions would carry a lot more. Maybe when Roger Goodell steps down, maybe your next commissioner's black. You know? I mean, I'm just saying, NFL, you want to do something good, and writing a check is nice, but I also think it's a lazy way for rich people to contribute without actually getting their hands dirty. You know what I mean? It's like a valet. You could go park your car at the spot you want and then walk back. You know, maybe you got this beautiful NSX, right? And you don't want it scratched. So you're going to park it in a back corner parking lot, angled a little bit away from all the other cars, in a spot under the shade. It's a little farther away from the door, right? So you know nobody's going to park there. You got plenty of space. Now you walk over to to wherever and you walk in. Or you could just pull up to the driveway, hand off the keys to the valet, and give him $2. Well, you got an NSX. Give him 10. Okay? There you go. And then he'll park the car for you. You do no work. And you got it done. And you helped out by, funding the guy a little bit too. But you didn't want to get your hands dirty and go park your car yourself. You want to get lazy and use the valet. And now you risk a door job. You risk the valet guy screwing up your car. You risk the valet guy leaving the seat adjusted to where it doesn't belong when you want to get in the car. He changes the damn station. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of crap that can happen. Takes your change. Takes your loose dollar bills that you need for a strip club bill. All that kind of stuff. You just don't want that to happen. So, that to me, sometimes writing a check, yeah, you contributed, but you kind of contributed in a level of convenience. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what the NFL is doing. They're conveniently writing a check. I need action from the NFL, man. I want action. I want words. I want the NFL owners to step up. Okay? Of course, I'm going to hear from the players. I'm glad they're empowered. I'm glad they don't feel scared now to talk. I'm glad that they're not afraid of getting blackballed. I'm super happy with that, but that's the country's giving them that power now. Now the NFL can't go blackballing now. No. That environment's done. That environment's, and every day we're exposing the racist. It's a beautiful thing, man. But NFL, do me a favor. Okay? The check is nice. Okay? I'm glad you were able to valet your car. All right? I need you to now park your car in another spot. I need you to get out of your car and walk and work. And work hard to bring more Brian Flores into this league and Ron Rivera's. Okay? I need to see more Tony Dungy's in this league. If your players look like Tony Dungy and Mike Tomlin more often than not, then maybe you might want to put the people that can relate to them there too. Okay? That might help. That might help. You never know. I think about it now, and I don't know how many coaches could have done what Mike Tomlin's done the last couple of years at the Steelers. I used to think Mike Tomlin was kind of losing grip of the whole team. It's just that they gave him a bunch of knuckleheads that he had to try to, keep in line. And he was able to do it. He's better at keeping Antonio Brown in line than Belichick and Gruden.
Bro, how did he keep Antonio Brown quiet?
I don't know.
That none of us, like the surface, saw?
And Le'Veon Bell and Ben Roethlisberger, all on the same team. And he in my book, he might have kept the worst guy out of all of the three.
Oh.
Big Ben.
Oh, that's easy to say.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It's incredible.
I think Big Ben's the worst guy out of the three. I think Le'Veon Bell is an irresponsible knucklehead, and I think Antonio Brown's crazy. So there's an explanation for the other two, but I think Big Ben is just a bad dude.
Yes. You know what? That's like he consciously knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He said
AB he's nuts.
AB está loco. Yeah. Está loco. He's crazy. He's just crazy. That's all. AB's just crazy. And Le'Veon Bell is just a schmuck. That's all.
Maybe his elevator just doesn't go to the top floor. When you leave those girls there at your house,
he's just a dummy.
And don't think nothing's going to happen.
Right, he's just a dummy. That's all. He's a dummy. That's all. It's the easiest way to describe all three. And that guy somehow or another navigated through all of that. Man. Wow.
And won. Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Alexa V in the house. Hello, Alexa. See you soon. Who else do we have here? On the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on the email. Remember, Orlando at Big O Radio Show. I've been trying to refresh this damn thing here. Oh, there we go. Orlando at Big O Radio Show is the way that you can also get in to the program. Troy Ortiz has also chimed in. Good morning, Troy. Hope you all are doing well out there and being safe. It's a Friday. I am not on Sirius tomorrow. I am off again. I'll be off probably for a while now. I think I don't know. They haven't told me yet to fill in, but at this point, I don't know if I can fill in anymore.
Bro, you got enough on your plate already.
Yeah,
Now look at you. You usually are together in this, and the way you got a little discombobulated this morning. It's only because you're being pulled in 5 different directions. You don't need 6. You don't need 6, my brother.
Yeah, and on the interstation, I'll be doing a couple of shows, too. So that'll be cool. We'll be doing a show, drive time 5 to 6, that will be focused on Inter Miami. And then middays, I'm going to do a local soccer show that will focus on all the soccer teams in our town. Actually, on that station. Got a couple of hosts that we're going to have. It's just exciting stuff. So any of you that are hardcore soccer fans, local, national, and international soccer, every day, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. live. Okay? Yeah, 11 hours live every day. And then it'll be replayed overnight, that programming. So it's going to be pretty cool, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's almost time for Albert Namad, sir.
Yes. Albert Namad is a salary cap expert. He's going to join us on the other side. I do want to tell you about Murias Dental. Love talking about Eric Murias and family. Listen, I've been telling you for a while, you got to get your teeth cleaned. You got a cavity, root canal. Great sponsor of ours is Murias Dental. I've been using my Invisaligns to straighten out my teeth. 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Call them right now. Make an appointment. Clean those teeth. You've been staining them the last couple of months, right? You've been stuck in quarantine, stuff in your face. Hey, my teeth not so white. Well, call Murias Dental. They will get them bright and white, baby. 305-821-0231. Maybe you got a cavity from eating all that stuff the last couple of months. call Moody S Dental. Go to the website, moodySdental.com. Follow them on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter at Moody S Dental. Go to the website, moodySdental.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We're back, and as promised, Albert Namad, NBA salary cap expert, baby, always kind enough to join us. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter like I and so many others do at Albert Namad. Albert, good morning, my friend. How are you doing, sir?
Morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good, my man. So, first of all, before I ask you about something that caught my interest yesterday that you posted on Twitter, what do you think about this whole bubble thing now for the NBA? Do you think it ends up working?
I mean, I'm a fan of the Heat and a fan of the NBA, so I'm hopeful. So I'm going to go with yes, just because I want to see it come back.
Yeah, if they're doing it this way, Albert, where they are going to sequester everybody, and you're not you don't have access to the world, and it's just access to the same people every day, I believe they can easily pull it off. Now, if you're the NFL and you're going to try to travel from stadium to stadium and city to city, and players are going to go back home and after practices, that's going to be near impossible to kind of keep everybody clean. But if somehow or another you're willing to discipline yourself and stay in that bubble, I think they could easily make it work out.
And I agree with that. As long as everybody stays quarantined with inside of the bubble, I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
There are potential issues, but I think it could work.
All right. So, Albert, first of all, cap-wise, how much does this whole pandemic alter anything for the Heat going into next year? Because, some people are expecting the cap to take a step back now. And so it's and next offseason is supposed to be the offseason when Miami was supposed to be aggressive, correct?
Well, this coming off season is not really
not this one. I'm talking about the next. I'm talking about the next summer. I'm talking about 2021.
So 2021.
Yes.
I mean, this pandemic, how much does it change that scenario? We don't know yet. It would be unwise for me to project, but I think as of right now, if we recover from this pandemic within this next season, then there's no reason to believe that, the salary cap, which was projected at 125 for 2021, would change materially. So I don't know what is going to be happening in 2 years, but I have no reason to suspect right now that isn't a reasonable projection.
Okay, and so for this offseason, Albert, you know it. You're a Heat fan and a cap expert, and I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Whether it's Tim Hardaway, it's Alonzo Mourning, it's Shaq, it's Mason, you name it. It's Jimmy Butler. Riley knows how to find the disgruntled and unhappy player where they're at. I know they have very limited movement for this offseason that's coming up, but because of the pandemic, it may have changed and altered the thinking for some team and some of their owners. They could be losing money. They may not be happy with certain things. Is there a disgruntled player out there that could be had this offseason for the Miami Heat?
Well, I think the Heat's target plan is to maintain cap space for the summer of 2021. So that puts a little bit of restriction on what they do this summer. But if they wanted to accelerate the plan, they certainly have availability and cap space this summer. Now, people who we may be targeting, I could think of Danilo Gallinari, the person we tried to trade for during the season. There's other names that I can float around. Davis Bertans is another one who becomes a free agent this summer. All of those are players that we can use cap space to sign. The question is, do we want to give them multi-year deals and then eat into the cap space for the summer of 2021? Or do we just want to retain our own guys, Goran Dragic, Derek Jones Jr., and then roll into the summer of 2021 after giving those players one-year deals? That's a decision that the Heat's going to have to make.
All right. Well, and if they're preparing for 2021, you were answering a question that you said the Heat could certainly be planning to target both Giannis and Victor Oladipo in the summer of 2021. Now, they have the same incentive as anyone to make it known they wouldn't want Giannis to sign a DVPE without giving him a glimpse of a possible future in Miami, VO extension eligible too. Explain that, because that 1-2 punch would be absolutely amazing, but what would they be, giving back or losing in the process?
Okay, so what I meant there is Giannis is eligible to sign a designated veteran player extension this summer. If he does that, it's over, right? And if he signs an extension this summer, that kicks in for the summer of 2021, and he can't trade for him. He's under contract. Victor Oladipo is also extension eligible, so either one of them could sign an extension at any time, and the Heat has every incentive to make it known what their future is like so that it disincentivizes them to do that. Now, how would the Heat get both Giannis and Victor Oladipo? Well, a lot of people are saying, well, hold on a second. You just said this. I mean, I'm talking about myself here. You just said the salary cap is $125 million. they want to keep their core together, that would be Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo, and their first-round draft pick this summer. You can only really get to about $47 million of cap room. That's enough for Giannis. He'd make about 37, 38, but that only leaves 9 to 10 million left over, and that's certainly not enough for Victor Oladipo, at least not the Oladipo who returns to the player he was before his knee injury. So how do you get there? Well, there's a combination of factors that some people aren't probably considering, and Andy Ellisberg is a genius. He's going to be considering everything. He's got 2 years to plan for this. So what if I said I could increase the cap room after signing Giannis from 10 to 15 to 16 to 17? I can do that just by playing around with certain things. That's step number one. But even if I got to $16 million of cap room, that's still not enough to go after and sign Victor Oladipo. But nothing says you have to fit them both into cap room. You can sign one into cap room and trade for the other and exceed the salary cap in doing it. So that's how the possibilities become real. I mean, you could sign, for example, pick Giannis. Giannis gets signed into cap room, and then you trade for Victor Oladipo. I can come up with all manner of possibilities as to how to create a trade for Victor Oladipo, and we're talking about 10 million to 15 million right now, but I can get it up to 30, 35 just by making a trade scenario. I'm happy to walk you through that. I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but if you have $15 million of cap room left over after signing Giannis, then you can fit $15 million worth of salary into a trade for Victor Oladipo. That 15 turns into 19 in a trade for Oladipo. So now you're up to 19. But if you package that $15 million, let's say just for the sake of argument, that $15 million is Iguodala. He has a team option for $15 million. Now, everybody suspects they won't exercise that, but if they do, they could sign Giannis and exercise Iggy's team option and fit it all into cap room. Then they trade Iggy and the first round pick and let's say KZ Okpala. That's $19 million of outgoing salary. You can trade that for 24. So now Oladipo's making 24. We're getting there, right? Then you could say, okay, I'm going to sign Derek Jones Jr. and trade him in a sign and trade over to Indiana. Indiana might want Derek Jones Jr., right? He might get, I don't know what he's going to get, but he might get the mid-level exception. The Heat's got base year compensation issues, so it would count half. So if he got $9 million, it would count 4.5 to the Heat. So you've traded out $19 million before, and that got you to 24. So now add 4.5. That gets you to 24 out. That gets you to 30 for Oladipo. Now we're at $30 million, and the Heat hasn't even traded a single member of its core yet.
Wow.
Right? I'm going through things quickly, but then after that, well, the Indiana might say, okay, but you haven't given me any great players.
That's what I was going to ask you, Albert, that you're not Indiana should be able to get a better trade than what you're offering. So Miami would have to sweeten that trade a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely. So just to keep it simple on this call, I assume that the baseline $15 million was Iggy, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
It could be anybody they want. It could be anyone. I mean, it could be Duncan Robinson, a re-signed Duncan Robinson. It could be a re-signed Kendrick Nunn. It could be Myers Leonard. It could be whoever you want. The point is the Heat has a ton of flexibility. But, okay, so I'm at $24 million out in my scenario, and now the Indiana's coming back and they say, but I need something. Okay, what if they need either Nunn, Robinson, or Hero, and future first-round draft picks? The Heat could say, okay, fine, pick one. Anyone you want, we can make it work. Let's just pick. In theory, let's just pick Tyler Hero because his salary is set. He's making $4 million. Now you're trading out $29 million. You're taking back $35. All of a sudden, you can give Victor Oladipo $35 million. So look what's happened here. We went from only being able to offer him 9 to 10 to being able to offer him 35 just by being creative. And in exchange, we've given Indiana something reasonable. First-round draft picks, Tyler Hero, or whoever it is. It doesn't matter who the players are. And other things to compensate them for their trouble. And don't forget, Indiana in this scenario would be losing him for nothing otherwise.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Although I'd rather give him Kendrick Nunn than Tyler Hero. That Tyler Hero, you killed me right there. When you said Tyler Hero, that one hurt, man, because
I only did that for simplicity on this call. If you want to build the trade around Kendrick Nunn, I can certainly do the exact same thing.
Please do that for me, Albert, because that'll make me feel a little better. If I part with Tyler, I like Kendrick, but I don't think he's ever going to be the efficient shooter that or scorer that Tyler is. Tyler and Duncan are just, man, they are perfect for this league. Holy crap, they're perfect.
The basic concept is if the Heat wants both, they don't have to fit both into cap room. They can sign one into cap room and trade for the other. If you trade for the other, you're going to have to give something up because Indiana's going to want something in return.
Right.
Are they going to settle on Kendrick Nunn? I don't know. Are they going to settle on Tyler Hero? I don't know. It depends on how they perform over this next year and what they might want. We can't project that 2 years out. The point is Andy Ellisberg has the flexibility to structure a trade around either one of them.
So how you feeling about the Heat? Because, Albert, after 24-8, they were a 500 team basically. And so I'm wondering if it was just a young team that started off red hot and everybody else adjusted. So now you're off for 3 months. There's no surprise now. They know what the Heat is. So what Heat do we get? Do they get a team in between the 24-8 and the 500 team? Or do we get the 500 team? Or do we get the 24-8 team? Which one of the three shows up?
Well, I'm hopeful it's the beginning of the season team because we're getting Myers Leonard back. Hopefully, we're getting Tyler Hero back. Hopefully, both healthy. And when we had those players, we were that team, right? They give the Heat critical floor spacing, and that was missing. And we pursued some trades to get there. Jay Crowder did well for a while, but he leveled off. Solomon Hill played some minutes. So I think that if we can get all those players back, they get their chemistry back over the next 8 games, we can head into the playoffs in pretty good position. We're probably locked into the 4. We only got 8 games left. We're essentially 3 games down of Boston for the 3 seed and essentially 3 games up of Indiana and Philadelphia for the 5 and 6 seed. So we're probably locked into the 4. The question is who are going to play in the first round. That's going to be Indiana or Philadelphia maybe. The 5 seed is less secure than we are at 4. So that's who we're looking at in the first round. In the second round, it's most likely going to be Giannis. So that's our future in terms of how we're looking. But I think over the next 8 games, we can develop our chemistry again and be the team that we started the season with.
Follow him on Twitter, Albert Namad. He's always dropping all kinds of nuggets and great info. And when you got some questions, you can pass it on. And he's always kind enough to answer them too. Albert, you are awesome, my brother. Thank you for taking some time, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Stay
Thank you.
safe. There you go. Albert Namad, man. Good stuff. Can you imagine? He threw that out there, and I was like, okay, I got to bring him on because he follows all this cap stuff, and he knows how to weave it all. I'm going, how the hell do you fit Giannis and Oladipo in there? And if I'm giving up none in the first rounder, I'm good. That'd be fantastic. I really don't want to give up Tyler Hero. I like Tyler a lot. Let's see. What do we have here on the chat board? Good morning, Big O Show crew, listeners, chatters. Hoping all of you have a great weekend and weekend. Thank you, NorCal. Appreciate you, my man. And I will call you, NorCal, later on today, all right, so we can talk. Man of 1,005 holds. Don't get rid of the core. Yeah, I know. Sid says, is this recorder IR? What? Huh? Live. Yeah, we're live, Sid. He goes, I thought the show starts at 11. We got another COVID baby. Sid, just so you'll know, I'll walk you guys through it again. Those of you that have been on the show now during the pandemic, things got canceled. Businesses closed. So we altered our Friday schedule. This is our normal Friday schedule now. We're back to our normal Friday schedule. Fridays 9 to 11, we're at Craig's Inn Acura, and 1 to 4, we're at Hialeah Park. We do 5 hours on Fridays, normally. So that's why today we're back to normal now. So this is the normal. It was the abnormal on Fridays when we were just here from 11 to 2. Now we're back to the normal 2-hour gig here and 3 over at Hialeah Park. So we'll be on till 11 now, 9 to 11. And then we move over to Hialeah Park 1 to 4, and we're not at the poker room. So those of you that sometimes visit us at Hialeah Park, that's in the second floor. We're in the first floor now. We're in the Flamingo Lounge, right when you come in dead center of the casino. Just keep walking straight through, and in the back, straight ahead, you'll see the Flamingo Lounge, and we're right there in the Flamingo Lounge. We'll have it all to ourselves. and we'll be having some fun. So you're welcome to hang out with us. Come on by and enjoy some great food.
You cannot miss it. It's that huge, ginormous, glowing green bar. It's awesome.
Yes, it is a beautiful thing. So come on by and check us out. So this is our normal Fridays now, 9 to 11, and then 1 to 4 at Hialeah Park. All right? So there you go. We are rocking. What else do we have here? Drubo says, make sure you guys protect yourselves. COVID cases on the rise. Yeah. Now we protect ourselves. We're pretty good about it, man. Super Boom Shack says, people in Orlando walking around like the virus is gone. Now, well, have you seen Vegas? Like all over, man. Even protesters. You know what I'm saying? Protesters. Bill's like, look, see, we're ready. We're ready.
We're not messing around, man.
We got it all. What's it called?
I prep the area for me and O every time we go somewhere, man.
Yeah, I haven't been protesting. I haven't gone to any protest because of my condition. That's the only reason. If not, I would go myself.
Oh, I know that you and me would have been out there.
Yeah,
for sure. I really was wanting to go and just maybe hang in the back, and it was just like, still can't. No.
Can't. Man of 1,005 holes says, I like Kendrick Nunn, though. Can't give up on him. Dude, you're acquiring Oladipo. You have to give up either Nunn, Duncan, or Tyler. Okay, man of 1,005 holds. They're not going to trade you Oladipo for absolutely nothing. Okay? Neither one of the three are going to take up a lot of cap space because they're not getting paid money. So you're going to give up one of the weaker players in contracts that have a lot of money on it, but you have to give up something of value along with the first rounder. You have to be realistic here. So, man of 1,005 holds, I ask you, you have to part with one of the three. Which one is it? I like Kendrick Nunn too, but if I have to part with one of the three, it's Kendrick Nunn. Guaranteed it's Kendrick Nunn. I'm not parting with Duncan, and I'm definitely not parting with Tyler.
You have to give to get, but you don't want to give it all.
Right.
Give a piece.
Yep. Let's see. Tommy, FL5, baby, or F15, little super chat.
What's going on in there?
Super chat.
Excuse me a sec. What are you babbling about?
Super chat.
Super chat.
We'll all super chat.
It'll be anarchy. Out of my hands.
Tommy and Hialeah, that's what it is. Because you put, Tommy F15, but then you put Tommy and Hialeah, and now I know.
Is he venturing to the Hialeah casino?
I don't know. He's in Hialeah, Tommy. We're going to be there today, 1 to 4. Come meet us. And Alexa V, come on by. I used to see Tommy all the time at the games when I was doing the pre and post and all that good stuff. Let's see, what else do we have here? Super Boom Shack says, I punished Tommy Italian last night for the pizza boxes under his bed. Man of 1,005 hold goes, I know it's just me, hard to choose, but you got to choose one. You got to pick one. You got to get off the fence, man of 1,005 holds. And you know I'm right. I don't want to part with either one of the three guys. I love those young three guys. But if you're trading for Oladipo, you got to give up one of them. They're going to ask you for one of them. And Hero that's the last guy I want to give up out of the three, actually.
Yes.
Duncan's my second. Because I think Tyler is a guy that's going to turn into more than just a shooter.
You can see it.
Yeah, you can see it, exactly. And I love Nunn's moxie.
He's going to be you know what? Tyler's going to be our closer, man. You could see he's got that.
Yes.
And to have Robinson, a guy that's not afraid to take a shot, and he can make them.
He can make them from outside the locker room.
Yeah.
The guy's open the second he walks out of the locker room.
So he's bouncing the balls off the hall walls, like into the opening, out onto the court, and into the basket.
Duncan is out on the concourse grabbing a hot dog, and with his right hand shooting right through the middle of an alley into the arena and making the basket. I mean, that's who he is. He's open all the time, and he can make it all the time, no matter where the hell he's at.
So he could join Bird and Michael in the horse game.
Yeah, man.
Back in the day.
You got to part with something, man. You got to part with something, and that's one thing that, you got to part with. Do you have the Pete Carroll sound there?
Yes.
Well, Pete Carroll came out and talked a little bit about his regrets about not signing Cap. And there's a part of all this whole thing. You know what bothers me is? What bothers me is people are getting regrets now. Why don't you just do what's right and forget about the rest? And I don't really mean directly the Pete Carroll thing. I'm going to get into it now. But it's just like everybody else. Like, well, I've noticed the error of my ways and this, that. It's like, what, you didn't see racism before, bro? Like the idiot that yesterday morning, I told me, oh, there's no systemic racism. Meanwhile, there's opened out racism all over the place. And here's a moron telling me, no, there's no systemic racism. No, of course not. No, they're not doing anything behind the scenes. You think they're not doing it publicly? Come on. So now everybody's coming out with, we didn't listen to our players, the NFL. You didn't listen to your players because you didn't want to listen to your players, because you never listen to your players, because you talk down to the public, you talk down to the players, because you're the NFL and you're Teflon and you don't care. And you were going to suspend Ray Rice for 2 games until they busted you. That's how it is everywhere. Everybody's remorseful. How about the guy yesterday? You know what? Before I get into the story of this, did you see yesterday in NASCAR the guy that put out the racist remarks, and he makes the helmets for Jimmy Johnson and all those cats? I don't know if you guys saw this story. I'll pull it up now. But this idiot, he was, going after, he was, obviously the whole COVID thing. And so NASCAR fans obviously losing their minds on the whole Confederate flag being blocked out, right? So they would no longer allow the Confederate flags. The man who owns Beam Designs, Justin, hated the NASCAR wouldn't allow Confederate flags anymore, and hated driver Bubba Wallace's BLM car even more. Beams Designs is a helmet designer who designs the helmets for Jimmy Johnson, one of the more known NASCAR drivers in history. Justin is the owner of Beam Designs and has been talking a lot about his support for the Confederate flag and has sent a few racist tweets. He even said he wouldn't lose business after sending those tweets. Well, he was wrong. His most famous client, Jimmy Johnson, has announced that he was severing his ties with Beam Designs after his tweet. He also lost Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, and Joey Logano. Justin tried to do a 180 and change his stance by deleting his tweets and tweeting out support of Bubba Wallace's BLM car, but it was too late. Listen, watch this. Well, I can show them to you. But Beam Designs, he puts, now, you see the tweet there? I don't know if you can see it inside the camera there, but it says, nice seeing some balls stand up to political propaganda. John Haverland tweets out, NASCAR truck driver owner Ray Ciccarelli says he won't continue in NASCAR after this year. He cited reasons in his Facebook post, and he's the idiot that quit racing because of the Confederate flag, right? So, Bubba Wallace then tweets out. Oh, here we go. Let me go to the next one. Here we go. He puts Beam Designs. He puts same day in racing, watching NASCAR put their drivers and their teams through their sport in a political spotlight of racism. So a girl goes, lose the attitude, Jason. It's not attractive. Beam says, no attitude. I'm not one to fold up like a cheap lawn chair. Now remember that. Lawn chair, like others who think by doing away with the flag will somehow erase history. Propaganda wins again. Somehow it was a good idea this week, but not 6 months ago. P.S. I still think you're attractive. So not only is he an idiot, he's also disgusting and a pig because the girl's answering him. So now he wants to take, the shot at the compliment. And then he puts, Nice try. Check back tomorrow, next week, and the week after. We'll be posting pics of more new helmets we're working on for Jimmy Johnson and many others. They don't let opinions on history get under their skin. Hashtag be better. So Beam Designs, right? It put the Confederate flag. Here's the tweet. Okay? I mean, this guy continues to bury himself. The Confederate flag, North versus South, is a civil war, a war of separation of the Union, not slavery. But hey, ignorance wins again. NASCAR, you realize the North had slaves too? LOL, not just the South. You want to remove the American flag as well, you idiots? You can't erase history by picking and choosing what parts you want to keep and don't want to keep, or want to keep, actually, is what he should have put. Doesn't change what happened. Slavery was abolished in 1865, 155 years ago. Why are we using a flag from 155 years ago to justify support for equality today? So it continues. After all of that, Bubba Wallace then chimes in. And he puts, nah, homie, as person I've done business with in the past and always respected the work you've done for ones in the industry. You've made it clear where you stand in today's matter. All respect lost for you, dog. Hashtag garbage. So then Beam immediately tweets out, right there, you can read the one in the bottom right here. Okay? Thank you, NASCAR and Bubba Wallace. I fully support the removal of the Confederate flag. Will rise above the challenges of equality. So after he tweets that out, Jimmy Johnson then says, due to recent posts on social media, I have decided to end my relationship with Beam Designs. Ryan Blaney tweets out, in light of some of the inappropriate tweets, I will no longer use the services of Beam Designs. I mean, you want to keep being racist? Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finally, we've gotten to the point where we can expose these people and put them in their place. That's what we have to do with these people. Put them in their place, man. You know? But look at him. Oh, now he backtracked. After saying that he wasn't going to waffle and fold like a cheap chair, he folded like a cheap chair because he saw his business completely go in the crapper now.
All you got to do with these people is keep pushing and defending, and they'll out themselves.
Themselves. Yes.
Our prez does it constantly.
Right. Yep. One more thing. Let's go over what happened in Seattle with Pete Carroll. It's nothing like this idiot, but it is the after the fact apology type of thing that bothers me. Go ahead and let's play a little Pete Carroll here.
We all held him in great regard as a player. We had coached against him in championship games and watched him go to the Super Bowls and beat us, and we beat him. I think we knew Cap as well as anybody could have known a player. And, just because of the depth of the competition we had against him. And when we had the opportunity, it had come up. I'll take you back to a story here. Cap called me during the season before that offseason, and he had called out of the blue to ask me, for some advice about where he would go next. I was flattered that he would even think to call me because we had never talked before that I could, other than just, greetings. From that point, I was kind of rooting for him, and hoping that things would work out. And so when it came back around, then I forgot about it, but when we came back around and we had a chance to visit him, and it came up, I was thinking, okay, this is an incredible football player. Let's find out if it could possibly fit football-wise and all of that. And then also, because he hadn't visited anywhere yet, maybe this would help him, open up doors for him if our thing didn't work out. And we had great meetings. And I don't know that I've ever explained it in as much depth, but we spent half a day together. He spent time with our people throughout the building in almost a full day. And he was awesome. He just backed up even more of the play that we had seen in the character and in his smarts and his togetherness and his competitiveness, to the point where it was so obvious that he's a starter in the NFL that this, it was just, that's what I think I eventually wound up answering to you guys, saying to you guys that he's a dominant figure as a football player, and that's how we saw him. And the fact that it didn't work out, for us, I figured he's going to wind up starting somewhere for sure, and it just didn't happen. So the rest of that story is one that I regret that didn't happen in some fashion. I wish we would have contributed to it because the guy deserved to play. I thought at the time, in our situation as a backup, man, I didn't feel it was right at that time. So I had to make that football decision. It was about our team and the situation. We had our starting quarterback and all of that. And it wasn't going to be the open competitive situation that I'd like to think all of our spots are, because Russ was such a dominant figure and all that. So anyway, that's what happened. And I wish people would have called me during the time before we ever got him in. He'd be great in your program. He may not be able to play here or there, but he certainly could play for you. I agree with that. He could play for us. He could have been a fantastic player in our program. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And then when you look back, I felt like we missed the opportunity. And so as I look back at it, I wish we could have figured it out and known what we know now and given him the chance, because I would love to see him play football those years.
All right, so first of all, look, he's full of crap, okay? The entire NFL is full of crap. Nobody wanted Cap. They didn't want the heat that was going to come with it. They didn't want all the media. They didn't want any of that, okay? I'm sure plenty of owners didn't want him for whatever reasons, for his color or whatever, but they did, more than anything, they didn't want the heat that was coming with it. Don't tell me that you respect the guy and that he's that. The Saints just signed a starter. Say whatever you want about Jameis Winston. I know he threw 30 interceptions, but he did throw 33 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. That's not easy. And the Saints signed him as a third guy. Okay? Now, he doesn't bring, the baggage that Cap is bringing to you, media-wise, the heat and all that stuff in the middle of that whole drive. I get it, but if you really, really needed him, and they didn't, but if you really needed him, you could have signed him. You could have given him that job. That's what I'm talking about now. I'm just kind of tired of the remorse now that I hear. Oh, we should have done this. We should have noticed this. Dude, wasn't it obvious to you? Give me a break. Well, you saw those 14 officers in Chicago just lounging in a business while there are people looting and all that. They could be doing their jobs. And all. I mean, the system's been broken forever. And I love now we got cops that come on and say, well, you don't need a revamp or this, that. We're fine. It's just a couple of bad apples. Well, you idiots didn't get rid of the bad apples. This is why we've reached this point. Because you still allow the morons that you have in your police department to beat people, to abuse people, to kill people. You don't help. You don't help your community. So now the crap's hit the fan. Just like the NFL. The NFL, like we talked earlier, we're going to donate $250 million. That's nice, dude. When are you going to start hiring black coaches? When are you going to start hiring more Latin coaches? When are you going to start hiring more minorities as general managers? That's how you give back out of your sport. So Pete Carroll, everybody else, don't BS me, dude. You didn't want Cap because you didn't want the heat. That's all. And look, on the Cap side, I still don't think he wanted to be a quarterback that badly. I know I'm old enough, okay? Doug Flutie wanted to be a quarterback. He went back to the CFL to come back to the NFL. Joe Theismann went back to the CFL to come back to the NFL. Warren Moon went to the CFL to come back to the NFL. Kaepernick did not really want to be. He didn't. He wants to be. He's more into social injustice than he is to being a quarterback. That's really what he wants to do. Don't BS me, please. Enough. Okay? He's a social figure is what he is. But is he truly committed to being a quarterback? Get out of here, please. That's more for the hype. But Pete Carroll, please. Don't give me this that now you have a regret and all that. Yeah, everybody now regrets not signing Cap. You don't regret it. You guys didn't want the heat. Your owners didn't allow it. That's all. Because your owners didn't want the heat. They didn't want the kneeling and all that. Now they've been brought to their knees. Now they can't fight it. Because now the country's behind it. That's the difference now. For those of you just tuning in, we are wrapping up the show. This is the normal Friday now. Some of you are new to the show, You are COVID babies, because I've been catching it there. Some people just tuned in. Normally on Fridays, we did 9 to 11 here, and we do 1 to 4 at Hialeah Park. We are now wrapping up the show. We're going to head over to Hialeah Park. We'll be back on the air from 1 to 4. This is now the normal Friday from here on out because Hialeah Park is back. So now we have both our sponsors back on Fridays. So this show will come on earlier like normal. This is the normal Friday from here on out. 5 hours on Friday, 9 to 11 and 1 to 4. We thank Larry Schlossberg, all the great people out here, man, at Craig Zinn's, Acura, Pembroke Pines. Come on out here. Weekends, they will make you a great deal. Make sure if you come on out here to buy or lease a vehicle, you get 90 days, no payments for military veterans, for first responders, $500 for graduates. Also, make sure you mention our name. Make sure you mention the Big O Show here. When you come on out here, they'll take care of you. 90 days, no payments. And they can also deliver to your house, too. So if you don't want to come out here, you can do it online. You can do it by phone, and they'll deliver the car right to your home. Come on out to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you. It is Craig Zinn's. Acura of Pembroke Pines. We are back in 2 hours at 1 o'clock from Hialeah Park.